In this video, I first want to start by talking about how to look at a decimal grid and determine the decimal in standard form. Remember, if you're answering a question like this in PowerSchool, you'll pull the pencil tool out. Each column is worth 10, so to determine the value, we'll count by tens, checking off each column as we count it. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So below it, I'll write 60. We know that this grid is made up of 100 little squares, so it's actually worth 60 hundredths. We can also write this another way because we know that with a decimal, 0 at the very end, we can erase or ignore. So instead of saying 60 hundredths, we could say 6 tenths. And I want to look at this decimal grid and determine the value in standard form. So again, counting the columns by 10, 20. Now I'll count the rest of these by ones. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Below I will write 28, but I need to put a decimal and a 0 in front of it because it is actually worth 28 hundredths. Now that I have the values of both of my decimal grids, I want to find the sum of these two grids. We know that the sum is the answer to an addition question, so what we actually need to do is go ahead and add these together. With a decimal, the most important thing when we're adding, just like when we're comparing decimals, is we need to line them up by the decimal. So first I'm going to start by writing 0 and 6 tenths. Right underneath of it, I'm going to write my decimal to fill in 0 and 28 hundredths. I know I'm going to find the sum, so adding. Also, just like with comparing decimals, we want to make sure each of our numbers has the same amount of digits. So up top, I have 1, 2 digits. On the bottom, I have 1, 2, 3 digits. To make them have the same number of digits, I'll just add a 0 up top. Now I'm ready to add. 0 plus 8 is 8. 6 plus 2 is 8. 0 plus 0 is 0. And of course, our decimal remains the same, meaning our answer would be 0 and 88 hundredths. We'll look at one last example of adding decimals using this word problem. If we read the word problem, last week I ran 5 and 2 thousandths miles. Mrs. Frimpong ran 3 and 9 tenths miles. How many miles did we run all together? So the first thing we want to do is circle our important numbers. The next thing we want to do, so that was with our understand, we want to make a plan. I see the word all together, so that tells me I'm going to add. Now I'm going to solve. If I'm going to add, this means I'm going to take 5 and 2 thousandths and add it with 3 and 9 tenths. Remember, when we're adding decimals, we need to line up the decimal. 3, 9, add them together. The last thing I need to do is make sure that both of my numbers have the same amount of digits. So my top number has 1, 2, 3, 4 digits. My bottom number only has 1, 2. So to make my bottom number have the same number of digits, I'll go ahead and add zeros. Now I can start adding all the way at the right. 2 plus 0 is 2. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 9 is 9. 5 plus 3 is 8. Bring down my decimal. This gives me a final answer of 8 and 902 thousandths.